Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim and E3 is come and gone once again. Now that the dust has settled and the air is slightly cleared a little bit, let's take a look and see what we actually learned this year, shall we? E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. It's the World Cup, Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, and Kentucky Derby all rolled into one. Not just in matters of relative importance to those of us in the video game community, but also in the pomp and circumstance, the amount of money, and the corporate game sponsorship that runs rampant throughout the entire event. Every year, we gather around our respective viewing screens and watch it together, as a chance to sit as a family and make fun of the entire charade, or simply be swept away by it. It's the thing that most of us live for in our twisted little Statler and Waldorf kind of way, getting a chance to peek behind the curtain and get a sneak peek at what the next year has to offer, where all of our money will be going. And if you're like me, delight in relentlessly mocking every cringy, awkwardly bad attempt to connect with the kids, and absolutely every single highly endorsed celebrity spokesman interaction.
Yes. Can't wait. Dude, stoked.
Mercifully, this year was no different. The leaks began weeks before the press conferences, and even from those few details, the hype was very, very, very real. After the spectacular shit show that some of the conferences tried to pass off as hardware feature announcements and living room media boxes, certain more cynical corners of the internet were primed and ready, practically dripping from the keys to armchair CEO their way through each and every tarted up tech demo this year. EA was the first up this year, with many videos of game engine footage to show off, several balls worth of sport, Mass Effect Andromeda, about 4 hours worth of Battlefield 1, and an oddly placed 4-minute teaser about the next 3 Star Wars games and how the companies that are making those next 3 games love Star Wars, and so you should totally trust them because look at this ship. And also this desk. Yeah, that's a very nice desk. And unfortunately, that's about it. I don't know what else we really could have expected from EA. I mean, what you liked last year, only more of it, seems to be their running motto for the next decade or so. So feeling pretty smug about the overall worthlessness of the first presentation, I tuned in for a Bethesda's conference later that evening. One very clever little intro video later, we were treated to the teaser of id's next big revamp, Quake Champions, with the promise of more info to come at QuakeCon. Then came the list of things everyone else expected: more Fallout DLC, Elder Scrolls Hearthstone, Elder Scrolls Waste of Time, Elder Scrolls Polished Turd Edition. But wait, a second resurrected property? A reimagining of 3D Realms' Prey? A sci-fi Groundhog Day, you say? I mean, it's not a whole lot like the original or even the sequel that was teased in it, but whatever. Color me interested. But what is the game actually about?
We'll have more to show at the QuakeCon, so be sure to join us there. Thank you.
I think I see a pattern here. Doom and Fallout on VR is very cool, but without $800 to drop on a Vive, I ain't gonna worry about it. And right about then, just as all hope for Day Zero or -1 or however the hell they started counting these things now was waning, we struck gameplay. Sweet, glorious 20 minutes of honest to goodness, no lie, Dishonored 2 gameplay. And it was good, too. It felt so right. I just wanted to rub it all over my jubblies. And so I went to bed feeling spent as a cheap harlot and slightly more satisfied than I did going in. Xbox led the next morning and came out swinging, giving us a solid hour and a half of something that no one expected from them. Video games. Actual and lots of video games. The conference was almost entirely made up of gameplay/live demo footage as well, to their credit. There was Gears of War 4, Phoenix Rising, Final Fantasy 15 played unfortunately poorly, a nice long look at We Happy Few, and Tekken 7 taking it to the Street Fighter. They even managed to surprise some people with the supremely silly looking Dead Rising 4, and then a couple of other neat announcements like State of Decay 2, Pirate Ships of Icarus, Halo Wars 2, and How to Train Your Scalebound. They also outlined a few new systems and options for Xbox Live, and 2 new consoles. The Xbox Slim with its drastically reduced footprint, a 2TB hard drive, and finally is an Xbox without a fucking power brick, and the Project Scorpio, their upcoming 4K capable console that would probably cost the same as an economy car. Of course, details for that are a bit further off. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention all the cross-platform capabilities that they touted throughout the entire conference. Hell, it was on almost all of the titles that they showed. But that requires installing Windows 10 on your system, and if the constant reminders to mandatorily upgrade right now are any indication, Cortana will be constantly reminding you about that too soon enough. Notably missing from this year's conference? I guess for Father's Day this year, Xbox got disconnected. And then, oh God, and then this happened. Say what you will, I guess, about whether or not this has anything to do with video games at all, but it was certainly high energy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ghost Recon Wildlands.
And it's gone.
Whole lot of people. Yeah, getting screwed.
Please welcome Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Huh? What? Oh, that's actually something I care about. Civil War, eh? I think I see where we're going with this. That was followed up by Eagle Rugby VR, Star Trek Bridge Simulator VR, and I think both of these are pretty self-explanatory. Then, a real-life fucking Viking took the stage to introduce a brand new IP.
World of For Honor.
It looked pretty neat, combat looks nice and fluid, and we even got a peek into the good old gameplay bin. Assassin's Creed the movie was wheeled out next, then Watch Dogs 2, skip. Oh, a snowboarding game? Steep. You climb up, you ski, you glide, fall, board, down, whatever. Record it and make challenges for you and your friends. Okay then, I think I'm on snowboard. Sony was the capstone on the second day of conferences and, determined not to be outdone, brought out a live orchestra to score the evening's trailers and festivities, starting with God of War 4. Kratos lives in Norseland now, has a kid that may or may not be his son, and still brutally murders anything in his path. With, of course, the proper respect that comes with age. Fear the Walking Sons of Dead Anarchy, also known as Days Gone, was up next and showed us how to make their numbers count for nothing. Then, Team Ico finally parted the curtains on their upcoming tale, The Last Guardian, a game that will make you fall in love with the two main characters and then kill one of them off. Or probably both. Whichever hurts more. Horizon Zero Dawn impressed everyone yet again, this time with actual gameplay footage. Hunting cyber dinos has never looked so natural, and I want it. I want it now. Then the Golden God deemed fit to give us a look at Quantic Dream's next triptacular Android opus, Detroit: Become Human. A David Cage game through and through, it seems to have your choices make much more impact than simply taking you to a game over screen. And a trailer for a new horror game came next. Along with some very creepy and unsettling visuals, it surprised everyone by being Resident Evil 7, a demo for which went online very shortly after the conference, much like PT did the year before. It was also revealed that RE7 would have virtual reality support, and they went on to tease a little bit more of their VR lineup, including, wait for it, a space exploration game named Farpoint, a Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR game, and one final teaser.
How do you feel when you put on that mask? Are you hiding from the world? Or do you want the world to hide away from you?
Even though this was literally like the teasiest of teasers, there's nothing that makes my hair stand up on end like the sound of Mark Hamill breathing down my neck while I wear a VR cape and cowl. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare put on a very impressive space battle show to try and bring the series back around. And when we landed back on stage, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 were fully announced as a remastered version of the originals, to very thunderous applause. Lego Star Wars looks adorably silly and semi-faithful as per usual, but what came next nearly brought the house down. On plates summoned from the ether, Hideo Kojima descends from on high to give us a sneak peek at Death Stranding, and also Norman Reedus' gloriously pumped up glutes. But the magic was quickly replaced by sheer, butt-clenching, heart-dropping terror throughout the entire room when everyone realized that they had escaped what they thought could be the most disturbing and terrifying game to date. And now it's real again. I'm so scared. A bit more Days Gone gameplay, and that was it for day 1. 2. whatever. Finally, the final days had finally arrived, and everyone's favorite kid brother, Nintendo, sat down to have their shot on the stage. Well, not on the stage. Not the one that everybody else used anyway. That's right, Nintendo decided to take their ball and play with it inside of their treehouse all damn day. It was announced before the convention that they would only have one game playable at the show this year, the latest iteration of Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. A lot of disappointment was expected going in, but as the show went on, they started to show off a few things, including an hour of the next Pokemon, a couple of other 3DS games, including a brand new IP called Ever Oasis, and still had about 10 to 12 hours left to stream the new Legend of Zelda. Let's get this out of the way quickly. It looks fucking amazing and I can't wait to get my grubby little hands on it, but something hit me while I was sitting there watching this. In a show where 2 new Xboxes were announced, Dishonored 2 was shown off, We Happy Few, Norse of War, Granddad of War, and many other surprises. Nintendo had the brass Pokeballs to sit there for almost an exhausting number of hours and stream what was admittedly a very curated version of the demo for almost half a day. And somehow, even after they cocked up Star Fox, even after all their YouTube shenanigans, I was still completely fucking hooked. So how did they do it? How did the company everyone expected to come in last somehow race across the finish line first with appearingly such little work? Because let's face it, there's still a lot dark over at the offices of N. New Zelda is supposed to come out on this brand new Nintendo NX system, but only the most inkling of details have even been remotely guessed at, and very few actual current gen titles were even mentioned at this conference. New Pokemon is what new Pokemon is, and they hate on people who are covering their games on YouTube. But of course, whoop-de-fucking-do about all of that, says Nintendo. We've got new Zelda. Check out them physics. Aren't they great physics? Square bombs and magnets. Nintendo is like Dr. House. Love them or hate them, if you've been in this fight for years or have only been burned by them recently, when they make something right, Nintendo proves time and again why they're the best at what they do and will never be replaced. And then Mario Party 10 comes out and the entire office gets lupus. And with that, it seems for now the final word on everyone's lips, unless you absolutely hate Legend of Zelda for some reason, is please let it be 2017 already. Is it 2017 already? I really need to make my Link super cold because look at those cute little wobbly knees. He gets so cute when he's cold. I just want to put him in my little pocket and feed him M&Ms and take care of him. Or maybe that's just me. Doesn't matter. Whatever they're saying, it's about Legend of Zelda Breath of Being Cold, and that's how a single game won all of E3, with almost double the amount of conversation tracked on social media during the days that followed. Now, I didn't talk about all the gaming conferences. There was the PC gaming press conference where they talked about 3 new AMD cards and a couple of new indie games, and there were the interviews on the show floor from your various networks, and then there was this amazing piece of disaster piece theater that I hope never goes away.
It's relaxing.
I'm not going home.
It? Feels good, doesn't it? You guys work so hard. You should take
You
all
gonna
the
push
credit.
me off this?
No. That's a lawsuit.
I'll just say if you do, push me towards Wes.
And then if you've got callus on your feet, I think that does something
You like
too.
scrub your foot?
But we've got a premiere too.
What is it?
Well, this has never been seen before on Twitch/Twitch. We're on Twitch, right? This has never been seen. This is Wilford Brimley and Friday the 13th. So here you go.
Let's see it.
He fights. Yeah, no, this is real. This is actually a real thing. You guys probably didn't know this. You guys probably thought you knew everything about Friday the 13th. But you didn't know Wilford Brimley was in Friday the 13th on Nintendo, did you? Well, so show this shit.
Let's see
Show
this.
it. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. You see? Here it comes. Wait for it. And then you're a patient and you're fighting diabetes because we still like there's
So after all that pretty solid conference, 7 out of 10 I'd say, a lot of laughs, a lot of gaffes, but what was it that could leave even such a cynical asshole like me feeling good? Was it the absolute shock of just how much the new Zelda changed that put everyone on their heels and injected that sweet nostalgia narcotic straight into our veins? Or was it simply the game that we got the most view of? Was it all just a worthless dog and pony show to you? Let me know down in the comments below. You know I always love hearing from you. Thank you all so much for watching. That was my E3. And as always, we'll see you next time.